Greetings, Earth citizens everywhere, New Zealand and around the belly of our Mother Earth. I'm talking to you today about Ennake, which is the Muskogee Creek word for cherished relatives. In the various phases of this presentation today, I'm inviting you to experience feeling the cherished relationships that every aspect of our earth has with its various parts, with her various parts. And we will move into those various parts. And I'm speaking to you today not so much as a scientist, but as a cell within the body of Mother Earth. And away we go. In the midst of chaos, in the midst of climate change, in the midst of political upheaval, what if this had been predicted through the ages? The possibility of new birth, the message that our pain is the pain of a new birth, an earth renaissance. What if, out of the background, a lovely, pregnant creature could be walking toward us to give us hope in the midst of chaos? That's what my book, Walks with Bear, is about. As you look at these beautiful, lively creatures, these fox that are coming up to be with me, as I seek to connect us with the new civilization, these wise creatures, these beautiful creatures, come up and invite us to walk with them, walking with the creatures who are leading us across the bridge into a new era, Earth's new era, Earth's renaissance. That's the wisdom of the fox. So that introduces us to our cherished relatives, that is, our connections with that domain of the earth that is less influenced by humans, what I call the wild heart. So now let's move to experience briefly an earth-based spiritual community that is practicing and has been practicing these connections for the last 40 years. A fair amount of our difficulties in this culture result from this split that we have from the natural order. So we come here once a month together to say to the natural order, hey, we humans want to come back. We hope you'll accept us back, because we haven't been very good for the planet for a very long time, but our hearts are now returning to our rightful place. Each month we're born again. That is, we go into the womb of the earth and we come out. All over the planet there have been this desire of humans together in little enclosed huts and heat up rocks and experience a cohesion that is rarely experienced anywhere else to this degree. And the purpose of the Sweat Lodge is to sweat and purify, but also to connect us to each other. And we're close to the earth. And being close to the earth begins to communicate with us and speak a mother tongue. And our own brain and nervous system merges with the thinking and the intelligence and the spirit of this beautiful place. And in this way, we begin to discover parts of ourselves that are vulnerable and often unspoken. We reach out and learn how to express what has been inexpressible inside of us. On that deep level, we get underneath English and German and Arabic and Hebrew. The roots of all deep spirituality are the simple connections of humans with the sky, with the earth, with the wind, with the trees, and with life itself. And as that resonance takes place, we have steps toward wholeness. And that's how I define healing. And maybe in this way, the human species can not only survive, but also thrive. So you just now experienced that we go through a ceremony of purifying ourselves and opening ourselves in a sweat lodge in order to connect Ennake with cherished relatives. This next piece, this next phase, I want to take you to our ranch, Flying Buffalo Ranch, where we have a vision quest, which is another way that we humans are working and practicing at connecting with the body that is our earth, ourselves.
Another day of desperation in the South, where historically high floodwaters continue to rise in Texas.
At least 6 people are dead, more than 1,000 homes underwater tonight, and in some areas the water's still rising.
You think, okay, I'm gonna sit here and then I'm gonna talk with this tree, I'm gonna talk with this rock, but it's not the way you want that things happens. It's very subtle.
It is a life-changing experience to discover the parts of you that are now new, the shifts that you've had inside of yourself, your spirit, your soul.
It's about being awakened and then awake to what comes into your life. Sometimes that can be very gentle, sometimes it can be shocking, but it's all good.
Being able to have an experience here on this land has been absolutely amazing. All of nature here on this particular land, they just get on with their life, and I think there's really truly a way to find peace in your day-to-day life.
When it came, the message to me, I totally knew that that's what I needed, because it made a lot of sense to me.
It allowed me to settle in and know that I can leave that behind.
When spirit comes, you get the information you need.
I was sitting on the earth and everything just comes electrifyingly through, so much energy. I lost track of all time, all space and time, really.
The place I sat was beautiful, and many messages about water, about the cycle of water, about the shadows in the water appeared to me as I sat there.
It made me feel like a more grounded, aware, authentic, and loving person.
I think it's always been there, but I now have the freedom to embrace that and be me.
I feel alivened and expanded by this experience.
It's a whole new feeling.
It wouldn't be the same without the Earth Tribe.
As soon as I heard about Earth Tribe, I knew I needed to be with those folks.
It's one big community heart and spirit connected by a bunch of awesome people.
I love these people. I love everyone in this community, and these are people that live in my heart.
To know the intimacy of the mother tongue, to be cherished as relatives. We purify ourselves, we gain visions that widen the angle of our lens, we dance with the earth as the earth, and that brings us to apologize as the dominant culture to the indigenous people. This next phase will show us an apology to the Mexica Aztec, of which I am a member, and how that prayer comes out of the Nahuatl language to bring us in close connection with the trees as they dance with us.
Of the roots that never die. En honor de las raíces que nunca van a morir. A poema in Nahuatl. He's going to recite a poem in Nahuatl.
Motecpana Guajume, Motecpana Xijume, in el guayo quitemo impeyo, oncapie contemo, yene milis, yemiquilis. In el guayo contemo miquillo, y sois iniswa nello nemillo. Ayeguan con cuica nello misnello, ayeguan con cuica nello yolnemic. Yeguano, olmososclalia ipan clalcincli, ucleca, octalipan manenemi, nec nemillo, tlalica. Yeguan, Moma Tlaxcalcuia Ica Inigua, y Yoli Miquilis, Monotza Monoleguan, Cuajuyo, y Mitica Cuajuyo, Tlanica, Ompeguas, Vitolquillo, Incuica, Cuajuyo. Filan los árboles.
The trees get in line.
Se encaminan las plantas.
The plants get in line.
Sus raíces buscan el comienzo.
Their roots look for the beginning.
¿Cuál comienzo buscan?
What beginning do they look for?
¿Será la vida o la muerte?
Could it be the life or death?
Sus raíces buscan la muerte profunda.
Their roots look for the deep death.
Flores y hojas buscan la vida profunda.
Flowers and leaves look for la vida profunda.
Sí.
Look for the deep life.
Que se refleja en el mundo fuego.
That is reflected in the world fire.
En verdad, ellos cantan el viaje de la muerte.
In truth, they are singing the journey of death.
En verdad, ellos cantan el viaje de la vida.
In truth, they sing the journey of life.
Ellos así se ofrecen en la tierra.
That way, they offer themselves to the earth.
¿Para qué?
Why?
Para que la vida camine correteando la muerte.
So that life walks following death.
La vida y la muerte se llaman
Life and death are called
y se juntan
and get
para
together
hacerse reír en la profundidad de los árboles.
so that they laugh together in the depthness of the trees.
Ellos aplauden con sus hojas.
They clap with their leaves.
Así comienza la danza y el canto de los árboles.
That's how the dance la danza y el canto. The dance and the song of the trees. That's how it starts. Es todo. Gracias.
So you see, this is the direction of becoming a cherished relative within the earth. We purify ourselves in sweat lodges. We gain a wider angle lens through Vision Quest. We dance and apologize with the indigenous people. And then that brings us full circle back to apologize to all of the creatures that we humans have harmed, beginning with the trees. So let's walk over to the trees, get on our knees, and apologize. So I'm walking now over to this tree. I'm going to kneel in the presence of this tree to offer an apology. I want to acknowledge to this grandmother oak tree an apology for my overlooking your power. For nearly 15 years, I knew you were out here, I passed by you, but only in the last 10 years have I been awake enough to realize your significance in this ecofield. And on behalf of humans everywhere, I want to acknowledge and apologize for our default position that we overlook you and take you for granted. And I want to acknowledge now that particularly I have ignored the underlying root system on which I kneel. This is the brain and the heart pumping up into your life. And I am privileged to be in the midst of your neural system as I offer this apology. I want to acknowledge that we humans cut down your brothers and sisters without thought except to think mistakenly that we just have the right to take you without your permission, to do whatever we feel like we want to, as if you were made for us rather than we were made for each other. And even now, I want to acknowledge that I apologize for not embracing the reality that you put out this wonderful oxygen that helps me breathe and helps me, as I'm closer to you, breathe even better without the toxicity of other places where I breathe. I want to apologize for all of my brothers and sisters on this continent who have clear-cut your forests and continue to pretend that replacing that with monoculture trees somehow gives us permission to come in and cut down the grandmothers and the grandfathers. So with an open heart, I acknowledge my role in this and our role. The trees take us to the white buffalo prophecy. Cherished relatives, Ennake, And as we become Ennake, cherished relatives, then all the races, all the wisdom traditions, the scientific perspective, we come together to form a new manifestation of the earth. Let's allow the white buffalo to take us a few steps across the bridge into the new era of Earth's life.